Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. I made a video about this show called Pluto by Naoki Urasawa about a year ago, and there's this moment where the story stops being about robots and starts being about us. On the surface, it's a sci-fi murder mystery, but at its core, it's something far more human. Hatred. The way it's passed down, inherited, and repackaged for the next generation. I mean, a lot of us must have forgot Pain's 5-minute speech from Naruto.
You and I are the same. We're both motivated by our desire for peace and justice. The shinobi world of ours is ruled by hatred, and hatred alone.
Robots in Pluto are not born hating anyone. They're not programmed with prejudice. That hatred is handed to them by us. Humanity's divisions, wars, and resentments bleed into machines that were supposed to be more advanced, more logical, and ironically, more humane. Leading to my title, are robots more humane than us?
Well, technically, we program robots, so I don't think they can be more humane than us.
And shut your ass up.
You've likely seen what just happened to Charlie Kirk, a prominent political speaker assassinated in broad daylight. A gruesome image in front of his family and many youths at a school, nonetheless. You've likely not seen the gruesome images of Palestinian children brutally killed for political reasons, or the tens to hundreds of other school shootings this year. Proximity to tragedy causes a greater means of concern. I also can't expect anyone to constantly keep up with tragedies. That would be miserable. It's not possible to be equally empathetic, but we can react equally humane. While the internet was so quick to comment on this issue, I needed a couple of days to get my thoughts together, and I think more people should be doing that. Just like anyone, I was deeply disturbed by the video. I wasn't even looking for it, but Twitter just has no guidelines at all. Cancerous ass app. And on that terrible app, many debated even giving him empathy because he didn't believe in it himself. He was also blatantly ignorant to those children that I mentioned. But as I started the video with, one's evil is not overcome with more evil. I am not here to defend Kirk or his politics, and as an independent who leans left with 2 immigrant parents, I'm going to remain honest about his beliefs, as I hope others would about me when I eventually pass. He had a platform and used it primarily to spread hate. He used a Christian label as a way to garner supporters while supporting rhetoric that sowed division within this country and poured more hatred into it, which is not a Christian way. And his close friend and POTUS is literally known for doing that. I mean, I'm not even being political. He used this event to then claim that there is a problem with half the country, blatantly grouping an entire political party.
How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. The radicals on the left are the problem, and they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy.
But this isn't about the right or left, or which political side you're on. It's also not about justifying a death. To many, Charlie was someone they looked up to, and to others, he was their enemy. If you were a child in Gaza, if you were a trans person, if you were Muslim, his words were more than just words. But even if he is your enemy, God calls on us to pray for those who persecute you. I pulled 2 quotes already from the Bible in this video, and it's not because I'm trying to push my Christianity onto you. I understand not everyone's Christian, not everyone's even religious at all, but the strength of my conviction lies in the wisdom I've taken from God. Becoming like the opposition, desensitizing yourself to a terrible death, is becoming exactly what you hated. God's words protect me from falling into that trap, and it was recently visualized in a popular anime, Vinland Saga. It blew up over the past year because it displayed the path of taking revenge and then realizing how much of yourself is lost in it. So many of you might question why we still hate each other, knowing that it's for the worse. Why is it that we've reached such a breaking point in politics to where some feel like they cannot be heard? To which I'd say there's an even deeper issue than politics itself. You see, these sides are just the mask, while the real spark is class division. Every empire, every modern state, and every democracy has thrived by keeping its people divided. Workers fighting workers, neighbors hating neighbors. People are distracted by endless culture wars, because if you ever looked up, you would see the real machinery and who's profiting the most from all this chaos. War makes money, hate drives engagement, and division keeps people too busy fighting to acknowledge that there's someone above all of them. I mean, it's literally what the One Piece world is modeled after. Like, with the world government as the biggest villains. I mean, of course it's not a one-to-one. There are good and bad in politics, but a lot of hatred is manufactured. And it's clear in the show Pluto. In its story, hatred is not random, it's literally engineered. And then it spreads into families, into nations, into machines that we're never supposed to hate in the first place. We should all be better than robots. We can be better than them, but we fail to acknowledge the root of all this hatred and end up using them to spread it. The tragedy of our time isn't that we're divided politically, it's that we're divided amongst those most similar to us. Greed and hatred blinds us from seeing the common man in the opposing view and the elite that is above both of us. Until we see that, and until we stop passing hatred forward like an inheritance, we'll keep making the same mistakes. The Vikings believed killing earned them Valhalla. The Christians and Muslims in the Crusades believed God sanctioned their wars. Zionists today claim ancient scripture justifies erasing an entire race. Across history, violence has always been dressed up as sacred, as justified, and as moral. And yet strip away the banners, the gods, and the speeches, and it's the same thing. Human beings killing human beings, convinced that their side alone owns the truth, weaponizing beliefs in a higher power and enabling the dehumanization of the fellow man. Pluto shows us how absurd this is when robots, literal machines, start to see it before we do.
僕たちは正義のためにここに来たんだよね。虐げられたロボットたちを解放するためにここに来たんだよね。
When they, more than us, understand how cruel and senseless it is to pass down hatred, that there is an objective truth, that we're all the same race. The most haunting part of Pluto isn't the murders, it's the moments when robots that we see as less than humans start begging us to stop. When they try harder to be humane than we do. It's Adam who wants peace more than vengeance. It's Gesit who dreams of a world without hate even while carrying out orders. It's every machine that doesn't want to inherit our anger but can't escape it because we insist on passing it down. And that's the point. We're not supposed to be this divided. We're not supposed to harbor this much hatred towards each other, but we do. That's why I'm making this video, not to talk endlessly about one man who just died, but because our reaction to that death proves how broken we are. Our immediate response to tragedy is no longer grief or reflection or even silence, it's speed. How fast can we tweet? How quickly can we meme? How loudly can we justify? We've lost the ability to sit with death and to process and learn from it. Instead, we repeat the same mistake. Answering hate with hate, answering death with more death. And if we keep doing that, then one day the prediction of Pluto might not seem like fiction at all. A world where robots created to be better than us spend their lives trying to stop us from destroying ourselves. I mean, Palantir is already making death machines more effective, so I guess we ain't that far off. But I believe that we can be better. It's easy to get lost in situations like this where everyone is hyperactive on social media and not actually taking time to think about what just happened. But given some time, we could understand that change is supposed to be slow. Political violence, killing over thoughts, happened in the past and it still does. I mean, that's literally what war is. But the truth is, we don't get better by removing those who spark hatred. We teach them why it's wrong. And if people don't listen, then move on. Change one person's mind at a time and you made a difference. Innocent people are still dying, but will remain ignorant because none of us want to live in constant misery, which is fair if you have the choice, but some don't. Some literally live in that constant misery. So my point in all of this is it's easy to pick a side. It's easy to use this as an excuse to ignorantly spread hate on your political opponent. But as Peter 3:9 says, do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called so that you may inherit a blessing.